What is happening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm not in my garage for once. Today I'm coming to you live from Robbinsville, North Carolina. Actually out here to attend Wookies in the Woods. I've been to this event, this is my third year in a row coming to it, so always have a good time coming out here, but this time I'm here with my buddy Shawn. He has the B8.5 S5. He actually came out here from Omaha, Nebraska. I actually lived in Omaha for almost a decade. I moved to Raleigh about 3 years ago, so Shawn's been making this trip for probably going on a decade. He usually does a good job with making the cabin arrangements and whatnot, but just tagging along with him. And this is actually my brother's car. He lives in the Nashville area, but he's got a big turbo 135i. Pretty nice car. None of our cars are actually clean right now. I got in yesterday. I didn't really film anything just because it's been nasty all day. It was raining all day. Made some mountain runs, had some fun, but just didn't really film any content. But just to give you an idea here, just absolutely disgusting. But we'll get her cleaned up. Just kind of getting our day started. We had breakfast a little bit ago, but there's no rain in the forecast today. It's supposed to be in the 50s or 60s, something like that. Decent weather, just not raining. That's the most important part, but take a look at this cabin view. Shawn's actually booked this place 3 years in a row. This is my second time in this cabin, but look at this. Definitely one of the most scenic views in a cabin I've ever been in, so just absolutely stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous views. But as you can see, it's on top of the mountain. The driveway is horrible. I mean, most of it's not paved. This portion is paved right here. Maybe I'll get a video of me coming up and down it at one point so you can kind of see it, but mostly mud. That's the reason why my car's dirty for the most part, just because it was raining yesterday and just slinging up on the side of the car. Windy right now. Today we are going to just do some touristy things, you know, do some drives, pull off at some stops, taking all the scenery here. At one point we're going to wash up the cars, but I brought my GoPro and I brought a mount, so I'm gonna strap it to the hood of the car and get some blow off valve noises and some intake noises as well as we're pushing it through these turns. And also want to get some shots with it on the back end so you can hear the exhaust tone. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have a catless downpipe and mid-pipe. Still running the OE exhaust. It's the Sport exhaust from what Audi offers for this platform here. So supposedly it's a little more aggressive than the regular non-sport exhaust. I don't have anything compared to, but I love the tone of it, but I'll get some shots of that so you can hear it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So today's Friday. The Wookies car show and hangs in Fontana Village will be happening tomorrow, but I'm sure I'll make a stop out there sometime today. Right, we're in Fontana Village. Left the house, came here, got some lunch. It's been raining again. I know I said it was gonna stop, but it hasn't. Well, it has now, but I don't know what's going on. This weather is bipolar. We actually washed our cars in the rain. I felt so dumb doing it, but we were in the middle of it when it started raining again. But shout out to Fontana Village for the bomb-ass cheeseburger. We are going to hit the road. We're gonna go somewhere called the Road to Nowhere, and we're gonna hit up a waterfall, get some pics. This is where we washed our cars in the rain earlier. But just parked over here. Wasn't gonna dry it off, but it was still spitting, so just left it as is. But got all the mud off. Pretty clean for the most part. for now anyway.
I'm coming. Go
You
park
coming?
the car. I'll be there in 1 minute.
Okay.
This is beautiful.
Thanks, bro.
Truthfully, this is beautiful.
Appreciate
Us Audi folks have to stick together.
I know, right?
All these fucking Volkswagen people. It looks amazing, man.
Thank you.
Sliding on this wet pavement. You're doing fine.
Oh yeah, this would have been fun to rip through. So this is the road to nowhere. Sheesh! Dang. So we went on a long cruise and it really wasn't supposed to rain today. It's been spotty the whole time, but we hit some good roads, a lot of twisties. It was super fun to drive in the twisties. This wider setup up front really eliminates all that understeer when you're getting into the turns at a fast rate of speed. Definitely feels different. I used to have 20x9 squared on here and I brought it to the Dragon last year. It definitely felt good. Still felt good, but this is a world of a difference, so couldn't be more thrilled by the way this thing handles. But we're about to go get some dinner and then head back to the cabin. It is about 7:30. Sun just rose. Drinking some coffee. Me, my brother, and Shawn were about getting ready to go take a run through the Dragon around 10 o'clock. Wanted to get it in before there's, you know, like 100 cars in the Dragon where it's hard to get moving quickly. So we should have most of the Dragon to ourselves. I'm sure there's going to be some other cars on there as well, but hopefully we can go at our own pace. But after that run, I think we're going to come back to the cabin, grab our car wash stuff, head down to Fontana, and wash our cars there, and we'll spend the rest of our day outside of the cabin. But should be a pretty fun, pretty exciting day. Put it on the hood of the car, mount the camera inside of my car as well. So get a couple of different points of views, and then on the way back, I think I'm going to strap the GoPro to my back bumper or the trunk, just to get some exhaust clips as well. But pretty exciting. This will be the first time I'm using that GoPro, so footage comes out pretty good.
I was like, what is wrong with that one?
What exhaust do you have?
Yours?
Yeah.
What else have you done? Okay, so very close to us.
I forgot to get my boy Anthony in my video, but he's from ACM Technic. He does the Matrix adaptive headlights. It's not approved in the US, only in Europe, so he's got his own software where he can code it in. But freaking excited about that. Can't wait to take this out in the night and see how it carves out, you know, any other cars on the road, so I can keep my brights on. I live down a dark road as well, so, you know, just regular daily driving this thing, you know, it'll work for all night scenarios. But it's $300, normally like $400 or $500, so he was doing a special here for Wookies in the Woods. So glad I was able to connect with him while he's here.
Greg.
What's up?
You can get like wipes it off. I bought one. I ruined one of my carry cloth towels.
Supposed to meet him at what time?
I've got a
been real bad about the commentation here. All I would say is that's clean, that looks clean. But I guess I'll just let the video speak for itself. Speaking of clean, this is really clean. My previous score was a B8 S4 just like this. I had rotor wheels, but I also had 3-piece rotiform LSRs. I had the clear corners on. I didn't do the honeycomb grille, I just had the black optics regular grille. I just liked it because no one else had that. Most people do the honeycomb, but soon, Junior. Go fetch me my car. What's up, Shawn? Didn't book a cabin for Wookies. Just make your own cabin. Post up in Fontana Village. Oh, hey, wide gang. Everyone's headed to their own cars to start doing the sound off. Pretty nice. Okay. The Brat Boys. Pretty nice. We just ate here. Tapoco. I think that's how you pronounce it. Just had some pizza. About to head back to the cabin and unload some shit. And then go out for a leisurely cruise afterwards. This thing is sick. This thing's a 7-speed manual. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Sick.
Little Porsche boys.
That's pretty neat.
How long you had it, man? Yeah? You love it? You love it? Yeah.
Good morning, good morning. Gonna miss this view. We're just cleaning up in the cabin and getting our stuff loaded up to head back home. My brother already started making his way back to Nashville, but Shawn's got a long trek. He's heading back to Omaha, Nebraska, so safe travels to him. But it's about a 5.5 hour drive for me back to Raleigh. So hopefully it's smooth sailing, but man, I had such a great time. This car handled absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this new wheel setup. No rubbing, no squealing. I mean, it just grips and goes. Such a proper setup. So, needless to say, these are gonna stay on for a while, but I definitely wanna get some 18s, some lightweight 18s, maybe a thicker tire. That's gonna be next on the list. I don't know when I'm gonna get them, but you know, even though this is, you know, more of like a show wheel, just something to show off, it does handle really well. It's not the lightest wheel. The wheels and tires are only about a pound more per wheel and tire, as you may have seen in my previous wheel when I put these on the car and I was comparing the weights between the stock wheels and this. So, but needless to say, you know, some 18, some lightweight wheels would perform a lot better, but just happy this could, you know, keep up with, you know, that aggressive driving through the tail of the Dragon without any issues. So really excited about the results of that. But gonna miss all these car sounds bouncing off the mountains, man. What a cool experience. Wanted to show you guys this driveway. I didn't get any video of it, but I just want to show you how freaking crazy this is. this little rock right here. One of our roommates, I don't know if you can see it, but I have to hit it with my tire. One of the guys that stayed with us, he came from New York. He had a Corrado with a 3.6 VR swap, and he busted his oil pan first day. And luckily he had an extra oil pan on him, which is crazy. He brought lots of tools, so said he was able to knock it out in like 20-30 minutes, so good for him. When I first got here, the directions didn't get me directly to the cabin. So there's a few points where you can turn off, and of course I picked the wrong one. And my car got super muddy, but luckily I was able to turn around. Look at that view. There she is. This is how you get out of the cabin each and every time. I will say is these videos honestly don't do justice. Anyone who comes out here and drives these roads will probably say the same if they record. The videos look like you're just going like 10-15 miles an hour through all these turns. Filmed during the Sound Off, and it's still out on the road too. Just soaking in the view one more time. Tried to get some good photos here. It's a great view. It's hard to get the car in the backdrop. This is kind of a cool angle. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I tried. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We're about 2 hours out from home, so wanted to wrap up the video here, but wanted to shout out my buddy Shawn for booking this cabin. He's always been, you know, the coordinator for this Wookies in the Woods trip. I've gone the past 3 years in a row, and he's always put this together and made sure we had a cool spot to stay at. So shout out to my buddy Shawn. And really glad my brother got to come. Me and my brother have been in the cars for years and years, but he's in the military, or actually he just got out. He was in for 20 years, but never really got to enjoy car hangs together very much. So this was kind of like the first big event him and I were able to attend together. So really glad that he was able to come out, and I got to spend some time with him. And this weekend was an absolute blast. I really wish I used my GoPro more. I only hooked it up to my car for a trip up and down the drag. The video came out pretty good. There's a lot of other cool roads that we drove on outside of the tail of the Dragon that I wish I got footage on. And also shout out to Anthony. He's the guy that does the Matrix LED headlight upgrades. I think I mentioned it earlier. The Matrix headlights are just not approved in the United States, only in Europe, but he has the software to turn it on and activate it. So yesterday's weather was absolutely amazing. Not a cloud in the sky. First 2 days weren't so nice to us. It rained on Thursday and Friday pretty much all day. But I got absolutely torched yesterday. I didn't have any sunscreen either. The front fender liner did rub a little bit in the past, but one thing I really didn't disclose was I used a heat gun to heat up the fender liner, and I just pushed it back and let it cool off into the new shape. But since I've done that, it doesn't rub hardly at all anymore. I'd say it's probably 90-95% good. It'll rub at full lock. That's just about it, honestly. The passenger rear used to rub a little bit. The camber was a little bit different than the driver's side, but I brought it to Black Forest Technic, and they were able to help me out the day before I left, and brought it in 0.2 of a degree. And as little as that sounds, it made a world of a difference. The rears didn't rub whatsoever in the Dragon or any of the roads, so no rubbing issues whatsoever. And as you know, I absolutely love this wheel tire setup, but I can tell the difference big time from both the OEM wheels and tires that were on there, the 20x9 S5 rotors that I had. That was a square setup, and then this setup with the 19x10.5 in the front, 19x9.5 in the rear. But it just gripped so much better when I'm in the throttle into the turns. Like, it was planted the entire time. I had virtually no tire squeal or anything. It didn't slip. The rear end didn't even kick out that much. There were only a couple of turns that I took aggressively where I could feel the rear end kind of move a little bit. But other than that, it was just 100% planted the whole way through. So, you know, I know I've gained, you know, quite a bit more experience on, you know, just driving this car more aggressively and just, you know, knowing the limits that this thing can push. But I would love to get this on a course and drive it and see how it handles. You know, there's tons of videos out there, you know, people with raving reviews on how it handles, but would just like to experience it myself and bring it out there. So maybe this summer I'll figure something out and get it out into a real track. The engine upgrades with the 4-inch Unitronic turbo inlet, the Iroz 5-inch intake in the Iroz Charge Pipe kit using the blow-up valve. I mean, it makes all the noises now. It sounds so damn cool. And even with the stock exhaust being catless downpipe, midpipe, you know, in RS mode where it keeps the flaps open, everyone always asks me, they can't believe that it's a stock exhaust. But you know, if you're catless, you know, obviously it's going to open it up quite a bit. And with the valves open, you know, it's pretty much wide open, you know, even though it is a stock exhaust. So it just takes on a different tone. I did hear a few other RS3s drive by, you know, that did have aftermarket exhausts, and they, you know, they had more burbles and crackles and things like that. It was definitely a more aggressive tone. I would love to upgrade to the AWE switch path exhaust. AWE, if you want to sponsor me, I'll let you, boy. But I don't know. I don't see a need for it right now. I think it sounds amazing. Even, you know, when it's in comfort mode and, you know, the flaps are closed, it literally sounds stocked. It's unreal how much the tone changes. So I would really miss that if I did go to the AWE exhaust. But as I've said, this weekend was an absolute blast. Met a lot of cool people. Lots of people coming up to me asking me about the car. Lots of people saying this is their dream car. That's really awesome feedback. You know, I used to be that kid that would go up to people and say that, you know, at, you know, different car events when I was younger. But it's really cool that I have something now that, you know, a lot of kids, you know, look up to and, you know, aspire to have in the future. So really proud of what I've been able to do with this car so far. The Sound Off in the field in Fontana Village, it was a little bit smaller this year than it was in previous years. They, I think they only let VR6 cars in there. I know last year there was 2-liter turbos, 1.8Ts, you know, Daza swap cars. They had a little bit of everything, but there was definitely fewer cars this time. But the ones that I did film, the ones I'm sharing with you in this video, they were stupid loud. Just when the cars backfired, like, you could just, like, you know, feel the aftershock, you know, just hitting you. And it was hard to plug my ears when I was filming it. But I know the video is not going to do justice, but insanely loud. But that was a pretty cool experience. My ears aren't ringing as much anymore, so I guess that's a plus. And a lot of people ask me, you know, what's it like, you know, having, you know, air ride. The airlift 3-piece setup, tons of controversy on the internet. There's always a lot of people talking crap about, you know, airbag suspension. I will be honest with you, you know, I'll be 100% transparent. I've, you know, nothing to hide. If something wasn't right, I'll tell you. You know, this is my first time having bags, so, you know, I had nothing to go off of other than, you know, a handful of positive reviews from other people. But this car handles amazing. This is my third time coming to TiAL the Dragon with air ride setup. Prior to this car, I had a B8 S4 with 03 Motorsport everything suspension components, and that car did handle great, but this car handles much better. And granted, the only thing I do have is the airlift 3P, and I am running ECS tuning end links, just because. The only reason I switched is because the bushings on my existing end links were kind of clunky, and just wanted to fix that. But it is a little bit more of a stiffer ride since I did put those end links in. I also have the Unitronic Dog Bone mount. Everything's tightened up quite a bit in the drivetrain since I've added that. But in terms of performance and handling, aggressive driving, daily driving, it rides amazing daily driving. It handles epic. It handles absolutely amazing in the turns, you know, at low speeds and high speeds. The only downside, I would say, with air suspension is you could potentially get some air leaks. The only time I've had an air leak was from the manifold. The only reason I knew that it was leaking is because I don't always air out. I usually park it in my garage just at ride height. I don't see a reason to air out in my garage, honestly. And I don't air out all the time in general, really. You know, I just, you know, do it during times when I feel like showing off. But yeah, most of the time it's at ride height. But anyway, you know, after it sits in the garage overnight, I did notice that it would readjust itself. Like, I can feel the car, like, you know, move it around a little bit. You know, it was just one of the tubes that plug into the manifold that was just leaking. All I did was just trim it, you know, plug it back in, and it's been fine ever since. So if anything does happen in the future and I'm still making YouTube videos, I'll tell you about it. Like, again, I just want to be as transparent as possible. I'm not, you know, trying to make everything seem like everything's perfect and nothing goes wrong. I just want to make sure that, again, I'm being upfront and honest about everything. But absolutely love the air ride, and I love the way it's installed. The tank is sitting half under the trunk mat and half up, and then the management, and also it's a dual compressor, so you know, it fills up the tank rather quickly. And the way it's installed, like, you can barely hear the compressor. You can definitely hear it in the car, but it's not super loud. You know, there was a spot I did try drift mode. I only got it to swing once and it would cut power, but I later learned that you had to hold the traction control button off for like 5 seconds or so before it completely shuts off. Really weird. I don't know why you have to do that. You know, when you put it in drift mode, it takes traction control off. I don't know why there's an added layer or an added step of holding down the traction control to get it to turn off, but kind of disappointed that I wasn't able to do that, because I really wanted to make a video of me cutting cookies in this thing, but we'll do it some other time. I'm also extremely excited that nothing happened to this car. Nothing happened to Shawn or my brother's car. My brother had a slight boost leak. He was in the middle of the Dragon and his car went in limp mode. Really sucky situation because there's not a lot of spots to pull off, but he just kind of limped his way, you know, through the Dragon until we got about halfway up, and then we were able to pull off and take a look at it. But his charge pipe came loose. It didn't come off all the way. Luckily there were some people up there with some basic tools. We were able to undo the clamp and push it back in. But literally other than that, nothing happened. Also, the Anthony guy that hooked up my Matrix headlights on this car, he activated, like, it was called like acceleration measurement. It's in the screen. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. I don't even know if you can see it. Yeah, acceleration measure. Apparently it's like a built-in draggy, and it'll give you 1/4 mile, 1/8 mile, and I think even 1/2 mile times. And it's pretty dope that it's already in the car, so want to try that out. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.